The whole day Bansibaya open up. We are here at the HRD summit. That's the second and last day. We have here. Wait, let's cut. Yeah, let's cut.
Does the picture look right to you? Okay.
It's right. Okay. We are here at the HRD summit, our third HRD summit, and this is the last day. We have here the chairperson of council, Re Elijah Diteko. Re, the summit is now over. What are the challenges that were raised by delegates that we think and they believe are responsible for the high unemployment rate amongst the youth, and of course related to the deficiency of skills that we have in the country?
I think we spent 2 days with the delegates deliberating and focusing on solutions, because as it is described in the NDP, South Africa has triple challenges: poverty, unemployment, and inequality. So some of the issues that the delegates have raised is that we have a special problem, a historical special problem. For instance, where in the rural areas and in the townships, you don't have high quality institutions that are situated there. People have to move and get into taxis to go to suburbs to get what they are looking for. That is something that the HRDC has to look into and make sure that it is addressed. The other one is that the world has moved into what is called the fourth industrial revolution. And this revolution is going to change the way we conduct our lives, the way we run businesses, the way we interact with each other. And it might result in job losses if we don't prepare the people and the workplaces so that they can re-skill people, make sure that people have the necessary skills that will take them into the future. And the HRDC will then work on those programs to help the country understand and prepare themselves for this revolution. Then the third one was work and learning. How do we make sure that industry and institutions of higher learning work together and collaborate in preparing students for the work environment? What are those programs that we need to introduce? What type of curricula do we need to be developed at institutions of higher learning so that when students come into the workplace, they are almost 3/4 ready for what they are going to be facing. And then we had presenters from Germany that told us that they link their students to a business place, so that when the student studies, when they break for holidays or during the next semester, they go to that workplace and gain experience at the same time while they are learning. And then the fourth one was on partnerships. How do we build partnerships between industry, institutions of higher learning, and government to make sure that our programs, our deliverables are integrated? And on this one, and everything that we have discussed, we want to mobilize the country and all social partners to work together and design what was described as work on the basis of evidence-based decision-making approach. What that means is that we need to do research, look at best practices, and contextualize those to our own environment and apply them, taking our context into account.
There is a general complaint, let's call it a complaint, that we have conferences, summits, we discuss, debate issues, come up with resolutions, but we never get to implement those. The next one, we still say we have to do the same thing again and again. How do you think this summit will be different from the two others we've had?
I think, firstly, the summit has been different. The Minister of Higher Education spent the whole day with us today, internalizing the feedback that was given to her and also giving guidance. The way going forward, because there are a lot of good practices in the country that have not been shared. That is a fact. So what we are going to do, we are going to capture all those good stories and make sure that they are publicized, they are shared with the media, and they are shared with all the social partners in the country so that we can all speak from the same hymn sheet.
Thank you very much for your time and your insightful input. You have really summarized the summit very well.
Thank you very much, sir.
That was Already Teko, chairperson of council. Thank you. We are here at the HRDC summit, the third summit. We are closing today. We have here Mme Mpole Tlape. She's a member of the executive committee of the HRD council. Mme, this is our third summit, and we believe that we're making progress from one summit to the other. What are the low-hanging fruits in terms of the recommendations that people came up with that you think we can take advantage of in developing skills and reducing unemployment among youth?
Okay, for me, the immediate low-hanging fruit is the issue of the exploring the issue of the College of Specializations. I mean, we had our German visitor who spoke yesterday about their university in Germany, which partners with industry, and in partnering with industry ensures that the students that come to that university are very well trained, because they get trained by both the academics and by the industry specialist. When they get interviewed to get into the university, yes, they have to satisfy the minimum standards, but after that they get interviewed by a company, and that company would then be their sponsor as they go into university. And when they get into university, they then do part work, part learn for the period that it takes for them to get their degrees. And then as soon as they get their degrees, 95+% of them go straight into employment. The minister has made a very serious commitment to the issue of specialization colleges, and that's the one area that we're going to be exploring with gusto. But another issue of low-hanging fruit is there's a lot of work that is being done by a whole lot of organizations that we're not even aware of. So one of the recommendations that we're going to present to the council very strongly to explore is to put together a team that is going to identify all of these good things that are happening in different places, map them out, and then figure out the opportunities of replicability of those exercises, so that we can replicate them and really begin to take advantage of that which is working in South Africa, building more on it, and then making sure that, I mean, we put it out there and we make sure that more people adopt it. My view is the will is there. My view is the money is there, the resources are there. The challenge is our planning. And when we finish planning is our implementation of the plans that we have. And then obviously it's going to be, and as the minister said, it's going to be their monitoring and evaluation and making sure that they have the requisite impact that they are having. And those are the areas that we're going to be focusing on immediately as we go back.
Thank you very much. There is always a complaint or a cry or a concern that we do summits but we don't follow up very well. Do you think this summit has brought up recommendations that will also ensure that implementation and monitoring happens as it should, so that when we meet again in the fourth summit, we are able to report progress made?
Having been given the responsibility of managing the content for this particular summit, we're going to make sure that when we submit our report, then it's not going to take a few months or months to submit the report. It's going to take a few weeks. Within a month, we will be submitting that particular report, and in the report will already be, in the appendices of that report, we're going to begin to scope the initiatives that need to take place to make follow-ups and to make sure that the recommendations have been are being planned into and are going to be implemented. We've already had a discussion with the head of the Secretariat that one of the first recommendations we're going to make is we're going to make a recommendation to establish 1 or 2 standing committees of the EXCO of Council to drive exactly those recommendations that can be immediately implemented, but also those that we need to get resources for, to make business cases for, to make sure that we can do those. So this is going to be a different one, and you would have seen even from the content that what we reviewed mostly in the summit were examples of initiatives that work, examples of institutions that work in the space that we have been looking at, and we've learned a lot from the people that have come to present, and we're going to be implementing very aggressively. So when we come to the next summit, there's going to be a commission probably looking at all the programs that have been implemented outside of this, what we have learned from them, and hopefully what we can continue to apply from that and we can take further in South Africa.
What is your call, parting shot to social partners in terms of coming together to solve the HRD problems of this country?
My call is we have a very the President has given us, in fact, a clarion call with Tumamina, and everybody is talking about Tumamina. So we should really take this Tumamina to its logical conclusion and say we are being too mad here. We are going to go out and we're going to do it. So Mina, my hand is raised on we need to do the work, and we are going to do the work, and we are. And the minister, you heard the minister when she closed. She said this is work that is going to get done. And knowing Minister Naledi Pandor, who we've worked with from DST for many years, she is going to make sure that we do what we promised we were going to do. She's going to drive us, and we are going to do that. So my parting words is let's all raise our hands and agree to be tumored by the youth of our country with skills and hopefully with jobs that will ensue from them having the right skills.
Thank you very much for your precious time and input. That was Mem Politape, Executive Committee Member of the HRD Council. Thank you. Section A,
what's your job? Anything that you do,
Section A, multiple
choice.
Yeah.
Any wrong?
If we can answer, we are guess.
Or value all of the above.
Tombela, this was our 3rd summit, and the response was very good. How do you think is different from the other 2 summits we've had so far?
The difference that is there right now is the fact that with the first 2 summits, we're still looking at the actions. What is it that we wanted to do? And yet right now, we're actually saying to people, these are the partnerships that we have. This is the work that has been done through working together with the industries and all other stakeholders. So that is mainly the difference that is there right now.
There is generally a concern that we have one summit after the other, conference after the other. How confident are you that these recommendations that we will take away from this 3rd summit will be implemented and to the end?
They will be implemented in the sense that when you listened to what the minister was saying, she said that whatever that we're coming out with now is going to be driven by the Executive Committee of Council. With the new structures of Council that have come up, we now have the Executive Committee of Council, which is the EXCO. So EXCO has been given a task to oversee the work that comes out of this and the recommendations and the outcome of this particular summit. So we will, as the Secretariat, be working hand in hand with the EXCO to see to it that all the recommendations are going to be done. But then firstly, what we will do is we'll put together the report, try and make it a nice report to be presented to Council. The next Council meeting is in June. So we'll present that report to Council so that the Council can actually see what we intend to do for it to be able to monitor us as the Secretariat. That is one. But another thing is we also have got a monitoring and evaluation division within the Secretariat. So most of the work that comes from the commissions, we are going to give, like, according to our human resource development strategy towards 2030, we've got implementing agencies, we've got departments that are supposed to be driving those activities or actions. And then we as the Secretariat are going to in turn monitor the implementation of all the outcomes that have come out of this particular summit.
Interesting. From here, we're going back, as you're saying, to implement. What do you think will be the quick wins, low-hanging fruit, so to speak, that you picked up from this summit?
The quick wins are the issues related to the youth. There was this issue of us having to work hand in hand with the NYDA. The advantage is that the NYDA is a member of Human Resource Development Council. So that one is easier because we have the person right within a council itself, and we'll be able to just say, these are the things that are supposed to be done by the NYDA. That is number one. Then the other issue is some of the things that have been raised by the participants or the delegates are that they are there already. They are going to be, it's a matter of us going back to say, how far have we gone with this? It's not a matter of starting afresh. So I think in that case then, those are the quick wins. Actually, whatever that has been said that we're supposed to be doing, it's things that we're going to say, do we monitor them? Have we evaluated what is happening? So that's how we feel those are the things that we can do. That is two. Then the third issue is, we're not starting from scratch. Most of the things that have been raised here, they have been raised before, so we'll be able to handle them.
And as your parting shot, what do you want us as delegates to take home from this summit?
Fourth Industrial Revolution is here. We shouldn't be scared, especially when it comes to saying the technology is going to take over from us as human beings. We're still going to need human beings. We still need to upskill them and even make them to be able to operate the very same technology that we are scared of.
Thank you very much for your precious time and your insightful input. That was Ms. Brenda Ntombela, the head of HRD Council Secretariat. Thank you.